Nicholas Kimali, an electrical engineer from the University of Nairobi, and I have a master's degree from the same university. My first engineering job, I worked at a company called Sasalog Limited as an embedded systems engineer, where I was developing motherboards for computers. So this was like the most interesting engineering job I've ever done, actually. Then after that, I went to IBM. I was an electrical engineer. I did electronics at IBM Research here in Kenya for a while. But then after several months, my goal at the university wasn't actually to be employed. I had always thought of being an entrepreneur. So after several months in IBM, I had already started thinking of how I can be an entrepreneur. And I had already started doing some contract manufacturing jobs. And one of my clients was Dalcom Kenya Limited, the makers of Omata speed governors. So this is when I started my journey of entrepreneurship after I quit IBM. And then I continued until 2019, when I decided instead of doing now the contract manufacturing, why don't I start my own thing? So I started my own speed governor business. Unfortunately, it didn't go well with COVID, so I lost everything. And I closed down my business, and I was back to job hunting. So a few months later, God was gracious. I got a job as a senior engineer, a company called Untapped Global. So at Untapped Global, I was in charge of hardware projects, and I went to West Africa to do some water projects there, which were water monitoring systems. And while in West Africa, I visited Cote d'Ivoire. When I was doing these water monitoring systems, an idea came to me, these are water monitoring systems, but then how can we make something that makes this borehole sustainable or the water point sustainable? Because you find that sometimes, like when I was there, sometimes you find that there's something small that goes wrong. Maybe a fuse has blown up, or just something that costs maybe 100 bob or 1,000 bob. But then for someone to replace, you have to, do requisition and all these procurement processes and all that. It takes a very long time, and it's something that costs 1,000 bob to fix. So I was like, why don't we have some money collected by the community for the community, so that things like this can actually be fixed very quickly, making a sustainable model for water distribution. So I was like, this is something that I can do. That was back in 2020. And in 2021, I still went back to Ivory Coast. I visited some more sites, and this idea was just in my mind, and I was like, I really need to do this thing. So in 2022 is when I started Ubuntu Water Hub Africa. So when I came back, I was like, we have these systems in the market, but they are very costly. They are not Kenyan made. Very costly, not even African made. And I was like, from an engineer's perspective, an engineer can look at something and we can always tell the manufacturing cost of this thing, and what you consumers are buying this thing out here for. So I was like, no, I don't think it's fair. The pricing model is not fair for people, because guys are asking for this, borehole owners. They want something to maintain their boreholes. people are stealing from them. When they hire someone there at the water kiosk to sell water, those guys are stealing from them, but they don't have a way to monitor that. They have tried putting meters, but they are ineffective. You know, they're not effective, those things. So these water ATMs are, you know, the thing. So I was like, okay, let's start making this thing. So I recruited a group of, you know, young engineers, and we started making. So, but then you see, when it comes to making a product, the clients don't care whether it's coming from Kenya, whether it's coming from wherever, as long as their needs are met. And that's where we started now doing, you know, some pilots. But then we had also to look for clients who are understanding. Clients mwenye hata tupiga mangumi sana. So we were like, ni nani huyo tutatafuta? Then we got someone from Nakuru and one in Marsabit. And so they allowed us to pilot, and you know, we told them, hey, this thing may not work as you think, but you know, we have faith it will work. And they were like, okay, fine, you know, you guys come and do it. And so we started. The first one I think was in Nakuru. So in Nakuru, we put that system, and the guy was so gracious to us. You know, he actually allowed us to even sleep in his house. He was cooking for us while we were, you know, doing the installations. And it worked for the first week, and then it stopped. So we had to go back again and do the same thing. So and actually repair and, you know, all that, trying to make sure that the system still works. In Marsabit, it was the same thing. You know, we put it there. After 1 week, they call us, hey, your system is not working. And then we send someone back to Marsabit. You can imagine the distance from Nairobi to Marsabit. During this time, we were doing research and development, making sure that we progress and progress. But after several months, we got it right. We actually now built a robust system. And our first client to benefit from our robust system was from Mwingi. It took us about 2 years to get everything right. Yes. So once we got everything right, we started sales. So in 2024 alone, I think from about April up to date, we've sold over 60 units and counting. So we are hoping that by the end of the year, we'll have clocked 100 units. Yeah, because right now the sales are up. So we are hoping that we'll have clocked 100 units by the end of the year. So what is this thing? What is this thing that we are calling a water ATM? So this water ATM is a very interesting gadget. So I'll explain it from two user perspectives. So first is the end user who wants to fetch water. So you have your jerrycans, you walk to a water kiosk. These are 2 mitungis or whatever number of mitungis. You go to the water kiosk, you want to fetch water. So this is 40 liters. So you have your water ATM there. So this is your first time to use the water ATM. So the first thing you'll see is you press hash to use M-Pesa. So it has a keypad. So you press hash, and then you'll be asked enter your M-Pesa number. You key in your M-Pesa number, and then after that it will ask you select the outlet. So it has several outlets, tap 1, tap 2, tap 3, 4. So you will select maybe tap 3. So that's the one you want to use. And then it will ask you how much do you want to spend. Let's say, for example, water is 5 shillings per mtungi. So you want to spend 10 shillings. So you'll key in 10 shillings. Okay. So once you key in OK, you'll get an STK push on your phone. Do you wish to pay 10 shillings to Ubuntu Water Hub Africa? And then, yes, your PIN, and voila. The moment you key in your PIN, water starts, so it starts dispensing water. So that's how it works. Still from the same customer's perspective, some of them don't have phones, and we've seen this even in sites. So we have introduced the NFC tag, the tap to pay. So the owner of the water point will issue you with that NFC tag, and you will top it up using Paybill. So you can go to Paybill, put the Paybill number and your account number. Once you top it up, then you have money in your NFC. Exactly, yes. So you just tap, and then after you tap, you just select the outlet, the amount you want to use, and voila, it dispenses. So this one you can send anyone with that tag. So now that is, some people prefer that, some people prefer using M-Pesa directly. So, and this one can, the good thing is the kiosk can be open 24 hours. Yeah, so you don't need anyone to man the kiosk for you. And you as now the kiosk owner, so you get the advantage to see real-time data, because this data is real-time. This thing is online, always 24/7 online. So if someone buys water worth 10 shillings right now, you'll just see 10 shillings in your wallet. Why are we doing this? So challenge number one we saw was the sustainability. So you find that, travel Kenya and you will realize that we have boreholes that are no longer functioning. Reason being, yes, they are there to give the community water, but who is there to maintain this borehole? When there's a problem, who is there? So you find that it's a very small problem, but because no one wants to take responsibility, it's closed down. So, and we have so many boreholes like this. So how do we maintain that? To maintain the borehole, you ensure that there's some revenue that the borehole is generating. And when it generates this revenue, the same revenue goes back to maintenance of the borehole, and hence making sure that there's sustainable water distribution. So that is our goal, our main goal. Number two, these people who employ, guys at their water kiosks, and then they don't see the money at the end of the day. So we are trying to make sure that they also have that accountability, and they can actually see everything. You don't have to employ anyone per se. Yeah, so now you have this system, and the system will make sure that, all your money is there. Yeah. So for every drop, so we just say every drop counts, because every drop that comes out has to be paid for. Yeah. So these are some. So those are the two main reasons, and we've found out that actually after rolling out, we found out that most people they have the same problem. So. And most of our customers, these 60 plus customers that you're talking about, most of them, they are facing the same challenge. So far, the impact that we've made, I think we've dispensed over 1 million liters right now of water. And we've collected, I don't know the amount of money that we've collected, but it's quite substantial. But this is for the clients, sio pesa yetu, si tunaona tu pesa tu kwa system. So so like it has actually ensured that the customers, the consumers are using water, and they are getting water consistently. Like I'll give examples, like the site in Marsabit. There had to always be someone there for the customers to fetch water. And when this person was not there, the customers were not able to fetch water. But right now, they fetch water 24/7. And if you look at their margins monthly, they have improved significantly. Actually, they are so happy about that. And they are referring us to other guys as well, other customers.